Welcome to a Gen Z Perspective hosted by myself, Nico, and my two co-hosts, Troy and Seth. This podcast has become a bit of a passion project for us. We talked about it for a long time and finally got around to doing it post-high school once the world had shut down. A lot of people looked at that as a great loss, something like their life has been put on pause. We looked at it as an opportunity to get together and finally do something that we've been talking about for a long time. Beyond that, people have asked, why did you want to start a podcast? And I think the best answer that I've come up with is because I wanted to give a voice to a group of people, a generation of people who don't really get to express how they feel about the world on any real media form. We are constantly told that our opinions are null and void because of lack of experience and age, and that's extremely unfair, especially when we're right now in a world where it's so hard for us to actually gain any experience or knowledge when we can't leave our hometown, we can't get a proper education, and we learn through a system of online that is just, it's a guinea pig. We are guinea pigs to an online education. We're stuck in a system where we can't leave anything, and so then we can't learn anything and we can't gain any experiences, and then our opinions don't matter because we don't know what we're talking about. So something like this, we decided, you know what, that's not fair for us, that's not fair for anyone. So we designed this podcast as a space and a platform for our generation and people who have unique and forward-thinking thoughts to come on and give their voice and have a platform for us to communicate on. And that's what this podcast is about, and that's what a Gen Z perspective is. I also want to take a minute to say thank you to everybody in the audience. Your guys' support for what we have been doing has been unbelievable. We never really expected it to go anywhere, and we didn't really expect anybody to listen. But to everybody that does take that time out of their day, thank you so much. We really appreciate it, and we really enjoy what we're doing, and are looking forward to give you guys more content in the future. Yeah, it's fine. All right, well,
That's all we need.
yeah, I know. Well, no, it's just intro stuff. It's fun, whatever. All right, guys, welcome back. I don't know if the sound quality sounds any better. Episode 4? Episode 4. This is a Gen Z perspective. We finally got the new studio set up. There's sound foam and everything. And today, we're doing something kind of special. We got our first guest on. He's a really good friend of ours, known him for a really long time, played soccer for a couple of years. It's Carter Mackenzie. Let's go. No, just me clapping? Okay, fine.
I don't deserve a clap.
Yes, you do. Come on, man.
We can add the clap in post, guys.
Yeah, it's fine. We can cut everything. It's okay. No, come on, man. You've kind of always been someone who's kind of succeeded no matter what. I've noticed. Like you did amazing in school. You played soccer with all of us. You are now working harder than anybody else.
I didn't do that great in school because I pretty much flunked all of 12th grade.
Why'd you? That's the most important year.
No. I flunked one of them on purpose because it wasn't going with my. Basically, if you fail a class in high school, it doesn't count towards your GPA.
That is true.
So
Doesn't even show up in your transcript.
yeah, exactly. So if
It's
you're
awesome.
getting a 60 and you're like, oh, I don't want to be finishing with a 60 because it's gonna mess with my grade point average, then you just fail it.
You could just drop out.
Well, no, you don't drop out. You just go, oh, fuck the exam, doodle. You know.
Oh, okay. You can intentionally. But see, I dropped out.
Yeah.
I was doing pre-cal 12, and I was like, man, I hate this class.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
I'm done. I just dropped out.
Math is the worst class in the whole entire school.
It's kind of useful. Up to grade 11, it's useful.
It depends on what you're trying to do, right? So.
Yeah.
Very true.
For somebody who's an idiot, very, very useless.
I find math isn't like really useful unless it's like something that you're actually going to use or you find it fun by finally understanding it. But when you don't understand it, it's shit.
It's just a pattern.
Yeah, it's very true.
I think of it as like I can't speak any other language for shit, but I think of it as a second language for me.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's something that I really got, and it was super easy. I like applied math, so I took physics. I was like, this is fun for me. There's like an actual real world application.
Lucky man.
But yeah, you came on, Carter, and we were talking a little bit before the show, and you mentioned that you wanted to talk about philosophy, and there was a couple things you got us to. Seth sent me a couple podcasts to listen to. Went over talking about philosophy of love. I found that one really interesting. Do you have any? What was it? What was it you said, Troy? The one you mentioned beforehand to Carter.
Did he mention one to me?
Yeah, he said a guy. There's like one name or like one thing, and you said, yeah, I know that really well.
I don't think I said that.
No? Alright, well, fuck it. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Maybe
Cool.
Seth said that.
Yeah,
Maybe I said it.
I don't know, like, okay, I don't actually know you two, Seth, Carter. You guys are actually the people who are the philosophy guys.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
Carter
know.
has 14 books.
Just on Karl Marx.
That's what it was.
Is that the person? Okay.
That's who it was.
Come on, you have to
Oh.
know Karl Marx. No, I like. So someone gave me someone from my work knew that I was really into philosophy and political science and everything. So Karl Marx was basically just someone who's been like because I'm a huge into capitalist, right? So he's created socialism and communism, and that's sort of my antithesis of my existence.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Really?
So
Fancy
yeah,
words.
Karl Marx. I have to know my enemy, so that's why I have so many.
Oh man,
books
I
on-
did a debate in school, and I was against communism.
Good.
Just for you, Carter.
Thank you.
Just for you.
Means the world.
Communism is interesting. Makes a lot of sense on paper. Doesn't work in a
Well,
real
there's
world
one.
application.
There's a big flaw, and that's you have to have a dictatorship for a while.
And then you have to say, "Hey, dictator, you have to go."
And then they're gonna say, no, I
No.
like all my power. I like being able to do whatever I want and kill anybody I want. I'm staying, man.
Yeah.
Why would you not want that?
That makes a lot of sense. Look, everybody's equal except for me, and I get to decide how everything's gonna happen.
Well,
okay?
no, me and my friends. I mean,
Right.
yeah, me and my
People
friends are
that I like.
fucking awesome, but like the rest of you guys suck.
You guys can go like wait in line for bread.
No,
Fuck off.
I eat a dick. I don't care.
It's like high school. This is communism.
Yes, it's exactly like high school.
High school
Exactly.
is communism, guys.
It's a fact. I mean, what communist countries are there? There's China.
There's China,
Is China still-
Vietnam. What the fuck? Vietnam, North Korea.
Right, North Korea.
There's some southern like country, isn't there?
No, they're all socialists, but you can basically call them communists.
Okay.
They're just communists with better oil.
They're communists with pink confetti. Like, it makes it look better.
I'm pretty sure like China isn't really communist
No, it's
right
not.
now. It's
a
like
mix of both.
yeah. So there's only really one party, but there is other parties you can vote for.
There's the second most billionaires in China, out of it, only second to the United States, and that is not a communist country. There should never be a billionaire in a communist
Oh,
country.
really?
Right. Because if everybody's equal, how is somebody
Right.
going to make $1 billion? I mean, I know it's not everybody's equal. but,
It's like on paper everybody's equal, but not really.
Yeah.
no, it's like, isn't it kind of like shared wealth basically?
It's
So
basically the means of production is controlled by the state, and the wealth distribution is also controlled by the state.
oh, okay, cool.
So the money that you make isn't really taxed, but it's like it goes straight to the government because everyone works for the government.
Right. Every business is directly linked rather
There's
than
no
you-
private owned businesses.
don't-
Yeah.
Oh,
So there's
okay,
no
cool.
private owned land or businesses, right?
Yeah, there's no, well, you can. It depends on the system, right? In China, you can own land. That's why it's not.
Huh.
completely
So it's like half communist because
Yeah,
everything is still controlled by the state, like everything you do, pretty much.
Yeah, as long as you are good and like basically, okay, so the richest woman in the world who didn't get her money from divorce settlements,
So not Jeff Bezos' wife?
yeah, or any other billionaire's wife that's divorced them, is a lady in China, and she's known as the box queen, and the reason that she became so wealthy is because she appealed to the Chinese government and what one aspect that they're missing. So she basically created a company that chopped down a bunch of trees and just made cardboard out of them.
Wow.
What?
And that's how she made so much money, is because she just made cardboard boxes for the government to ship things to.
To the U.S.
Yeah.
That is
Come-
so smart.
One person owns the entire cardboard production for
Yeah.
the whole world.
Damn.
Exactly.
So where does they get all these resources? Because
China owns a lot of land in Africa and Sri Lanka.
yeah,
Um,
they're building highways all throughout it now.
yeah.
Really?
When I was down there, it was
Wow.
so interesting. Every single road had like Chinese advertisements, and every highway was built by
Really?
Chinese people. Oh yeah,
Yeah, of course.
They're taking over the world.
subtly, or not so subtly.
Yeah.
Not so
It's
subtly.
becoming less subtle now as it becomes more drastic to take over the world as fast as possible.
Well, they already have Hollywood. They already have mainstream media in Hollywood.
No, well, they don't have mainstream media because it's all been bought back by the U.S. But what they do have is that the mainstream media can't confront China.
They can't-
Yeah, well, they can't
can't
say, "Hey,
criticize.
China, you're not. It's not great that you're having these people in concentration camps, or it's not great that you don't have any freedom of speech." Like all the political figures and stuff all have to kind of appeal to China because they're the biggest buyer of goods in the world. And if you get the Chinese market, you get
Almost
everything.
I mean,
Also, the Chinese market basically owns the entire U.S. because of the debt they
they owe.
incur.
That,
Yeah.
that's kind of like, you can't. It's not that China says you can't do this. It's that the U.S. says you can't do this because the U.S. owe China everything.
Yeah.
Right.
If the U.S. basically, all of the money that the U.S. gets in 1 year, they could give that to China, and they still wouldn't pay off all their Chinese debt.
No, isn't it coming upwards on like $3 trillion?
Oh no, it's way more than $3 trillion.
Actually?
The U.S. GDP is $17 trillion a year. The Chinese,
Holy shit!
the Chinese debt that America owes to it is around 20 trillion. So
Wow.
It's amazing.
Should maybe take some away from the military because they are insane.
No,
Their
no.
military.
They're not going to do that.
The Americans can't take away from the military because the only thing that they have over China is their military.
Yeah. The other thing is
And
that-
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Well, you
The
just
other
said they couldn't criticize them.
Well, they can't. Well, they can't do anything,
Make up
but they
your mind,
still
buddy.
have Hollywood.
Yeah.
the other
Like, I mean, their influence. If they wanted to, they could make their sphere of influence away from China, and make Hollywood whatever they want it to be. It's not like China controls Hollywood. It's just America is controlling what is produced in movies to tailor to China.
kind of and sort of. I mean, Star Wars example never released in China.
No, all Chinese people.
Oh, I see. Okay, I just mean like Star Wars is an example of Hollywood that they never was released in China.
The
So-
new ones?
No, the old ones.
Oh, but
So-
that's not.
No, wait. So
Okay.
because of that, the new Star Wars movies absolutely never get watched.
Oh.
They completely tank in China because they're not tailored toward them, and it's really funny.
But I know Marvel. I know the Marvel movies are a lot. There's lots of scenes in the Marvel movies that aren't in the American ones. That are in the Chinese ones with, like, Chinese doctors and stuff.
That doesn't
Crazy.
surprise me. I mean, it's interesting that the U.S. used to be the highest creditor in the world post World War II, right? That's why the U.S. dollar became the base transaction for currency.
I think that was World War One, maybe.
No,
They became the number one economy after World War One, but they didn't become the number one trading post. in
No,
the
they
world.
became the number one trading post after like post World War II, and then they were the highest creditor, which means everybody owed them money, and now they're the fakest, richest company in the world, like country in the world. They're so poor, they own nothing, and everything's based on like
Credit.
the dollar is based on credit now. Like that's why they push credit cards so much.
Yeah.
Or a part of the reason.
Yeah, You should never buy a credit card unless you're gonna get a mortgage. You should never buy a credit card. As soon as you get a credit card, you basically have said to yourself like, oh, I need to make sure that I'm paying off this credit every time that I buy something on it. But if you don't pay it off immediately, then you're actually just losing money every day.
That is so,
Not every day, every month.
No, it's every day. It's
It's
every
not
day.
every day. You get you get taxed at the end of the month, or you get like a
You get your credit goes down at the end of the month. Yes.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's actually really good to have a credit card because you can build up your credit if you pay it back.
You can build up your credit if you pay it back, and you should have a credit card when you're going
Yes.
to go into buying a thing like a mortgage.
Before you buy a house, you have to build up your credit,
Yeah.
so they'll give you the loan, so they know, hey, this guy's good at paying back his money.
Or you could just get $1 million cash and just buy the house in total.
Dude, it's so
I-
imagine that flex. You walk out with the briefcase with the $100 bills, and you're like, "Here, man, pop it
Yeah.
up." But the thing is about a credit card is they push it. They push it so much for you to get because there are huge benefits to having it. And I think the trick is use it the same way you'd use a debit card. Don't buy anything
Definitely.
that you don't have. I mean, a house is a little different. A car might be a little different. But like, you know your income. Say I had $1,000 in my bank account, and I was making $1,000 a month. Don't spend more than $1,000 on your credit card.
Yeah,
And then you'll always pay
exactly.
it back, and then you get the benefits of like free airplane flights,
very
and
useful.
points, and everything like that. Like it can make things cheaper.
It can make things cheaper, but it's all decided by the government how cheap that they become, or not by the government, but by the companies that are funded by the government.
Yeah.
Like every deal that there is on the credit card has, it's like a plane ticket or a grocery store or necessities that you need to basically do things. It's not like, oh, you can get a free bungee jumping thing off your credit card.
Right.
Because they're not decided by private companies. They're decided by the government, and that's why the government has their hands in
They give-
airplane and travel and everything like that.
They give you airplanes, right? Like they give you
They
flights.
give you airplanes, yeah.
They give you
Whole ones.
Whole airplane to
Dude,
yourself.
they're not that expensive. Have you seen Drake's?
Yeah, that's pussy shit, man.
Exactly. No, but like, they're you can get flights, right, for credit, but like, why is that a necessity? Why do they choose flights as a necessity? Because most
People
people
wanna
use
travel.
credits, they use it for a vacation.
Yeah, they go, hey, I'm gonna spend this much money. I'm gonna use my card. I get points, and I say, okay, I'm gonna spend a little bit more to get more points to eventually get to this flight. So it doesn't seem like it's costing you anything when you technically do pay for it. It's just hidden costs.
Small increments.
costs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, if I spend this much money a month, I can get 10% off this mile.
So then you're spending more money a month
trying
when
to
you don't
make
actually need to.
money off that mile.
It's just like if there's a 2-for-1 deal,
Yeah.
you buy twice as much. You get twice as much, but you're still spending the same amount of money.
No.
It's not the same thing because if you buy a 2-for-1 deal,
Yeah.
you get the deal.
It's like
and
2
you
for
just-
3 because you wouldn't have been buying
Yeah.
2, but then you got 3. If you
That's
get
a better example, yeah.
So
Thank
one
you,
thing
Kyle.
I was just thinking, like, sorry, I'm not 19 yet. I tried to get a credit card. They don't let you until you're 19. At least at the bank that I go to. Carter, are you 19 now?
No.
You're not 19 yet. Okay, so Troy, you're gonna be the closest one. Are you gonna get one?
Probably,
Are
but
you 19, Troy?
in 2 weeks.
Ooh.
Yeah, man. So like
Congrats.
what's your like? Do you want to get a credit card? Because there are definite like advantages to having it for sure.
Definitely.
I want to get one when I know that I'm going to use it for the right things. Like you said, like if it's going to be something like, I don't know too much information or details on it. It's like credit cards or building up your credit score, which I probably should get more into.
Well, they don't teach us that. It's
No,
stuff you
they
have to
don't.
kind of learn yourself.
Why would they? If you're not informed about it, then the government makes more money off of you.
That's the thing, right?
It's why there's public schools. I mean, if they're funded by the government, so why would the government teach people how to save money?
It's the same thing with like stocks and stuff like that. They're not going to teach you that,
Yeah.
right?
I'm not going to teach you how to make money.
Yeah, they don't want. They will. They will.
They want you to spend money, but they don't want you to get so much money that it messes with
And, like,
inflation.
Okay. It's kind of not really switching topics at all, but part of the reason that I want cryptocurrency to become a huge thing is because it's trackable and you could see where the money went to with your taxes. If everything was paid through crypto, you can go through the blockchain and be like, okay, so nothing could be like put into somebody's pocket, but you could be like, okay, so my money that I paid taxes went to fixing that highway. Awesome. I know that it actually did something to help. Because that's a big problem right now is people don't know where their money's going, and so everybody's just like, okay, how can I cheat this? How can I not pay as many taxes because I don't know where it's going. It feels like it's just gone, right?
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine. I'm perfectly fine with rich people paying a ton of taxes. I mean, like if I made $1 million, you don't need a fucking $1 million. You can have 300,000 and be perfectly happy. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. But it's the fact that a lot of the wealth and people that are basically living large with the government, they pocket a lot of the tax money. So, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's why a decentralized currency would be so beneficial for at least citizens. Maybe not the people in charge, but like us, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think I would get a credit card, Troy. Like I think there's enough. If you have enough self-control, because it's not an unlimited bank account, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you get if your credit is super fucked up,
Yeah, and you can. It's rough for you.
it's really rough. I mean, you couldn't buy a house, you couldn't do anything, and no one can afford to buy a house. You can't. No one has $250,000 in cash just lying around.
Damn.
Working on it.
You're gonna get there. Working at Thrifties every day.
Every
boys.
day, grind.
50s.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought my debit card was a credit card for the longest time because you can do everything you want to on a credit card on a debit card.
Except for buy things online.
You can buy
Yeah,
things
you can't.
online as well.
Really?
No,
Now?
no. Yeah, you can. You just can't go to Europe and do that stuff. Or
Yeah,
Okay,
because
yeah,
I bought
other countries.
what did I buy? I bought an Amazon order or something online with it, and it worked totally fine. I was like, how the fuck is this working? I thought I had to have a credit card for
Yeah,
this.
that's what I thought too.
It's really weird. Yeah.
You can. Gavin buys everything online. So.
Yeah, man. Do you want a drink, man?
I've already got.
No, but
Oh, I mean,
Like
we all have one. Do you want one?
a yerba drink.
a yerba drink.
Shout out to Yerba. Thank you so much. You
Oh
guys
yeah,
are
I'm
great.
sorry. I have to do this. I have to shout out Twitch TV Family Pies.
Oh, oh my god.
Hell
also have
yeah!
to-
Thank you.
I
Thank
have
you.
to shout out Twitch TV /Leafy Green. Thank you.
Oh.
I couldn't be here without you guys. Thank you very much.
Did your little brother get you there? Your little brother got you to do that? Nice.
Of course.
Love
No.
him.
I'm just doing it off of my free will because I love them so much.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
You're not gonna
I
shout
like
out
that.
my Twitch?
I don't know your Twitch.
Oh, I have no
I don't
idea.
actually
One
watch
said-
Twitch.
Go ahead.
Twitch.tv/Curly Kraus.
Oh, fuck. That's a good one.
That's
Yeah?
a good name. Troy, you got
Like
anything
it?
you want to sponsor? Or just
Not
buff it?
yet.
No? You know what I gotta say? Speaking of yerba mate, I love their company and the way that they do things. You can, they employ people who go to university for $40 an hour. to be a delivery guy to drop off things, and you can be something called an ambassadora, I believe it's called, and basically get free access to their warehouses, and you go around campus and you're giving them out to people.
Wow.
And it's this huge program that they have, and it's really, really nice. And they basically put a lot of effort into employing strictly people who are in student debt to give them a ton of money and like resources. And I gotta be honest, yerba mate is the only thing that got me through high school, and it'll probably be the only thing that gets me through university.
Dude, it's getting me
Haven't
through
done crack
life,
yet,
man.
So
That's true.
Yeah.
Apparently, what did you say? It makes you cum your pants?
meth.
Meth makes you cum.
Math?
Math.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Because you would know.
Isn't it like morphine is kind of like the pure form?
Of opium.
Yeah.
Well, it's not. Okay,
Censored,
so
dot.
yeah, opium is funny because it was smoked in pipes for so long, and it was not dangerous. It's a lot like how coca leaves were chewed.
Really?
For energy. Like opium was around the same thing. Like it was probably as harmful as like half a cigarette or something like that. Like it wasn't beneficial for sure, but it wasn't killing people like it did. But then the British found out that it was so addictive, so they just refined it and then sold it to a bunch of
Damn.
people.
And there was the opioid crisis where you would have the tabs that were supposed to slowly dissolve. Thank you, Troy. You'd have the tabs that were supposed to slowly dissolve, and people, I think it was like about 20 years ago, something like that, 1990s, maybe early 2000s, you could pop the tabs off, and it was basically just buy LSD, like pure morphine or opioids. And it can cause so many people like crazy addictions. And it was this huge, huge thing that like, it basically started the quote unquote war
Oxycontin.
on drugs. Yeah.
Yeah, Oxycontin.
Do you know what the company's called? Any of you guys?
No idea. Just say Big Pharma.
Big Pharma.
pretty much
Well,
the whole-
a lot of big pharma is supplied by the Taliban, so because the Taliban owns Afghanistan and a lot of Pakistan, so that's where most of the opium comes from.
Really?
So, yeah. If
I
you
thought
look
they came in poppies, right?
Yeah.
Most opium. Isn't there massive opium fields in like America and places?
no,
Really?
really in Afghanistan.
Stuff
Wow.
isn't really produced in
Yeah,
North America.
Yeah, you can't produce that stuff in North America. It's probably
I have poppies at my house. Can I make opium?
I mean, if you
Could
have an
you?
opium poppy,
If you have
I
the
just
right-
have
if you
a
the
normal,
right-
beautiful poppy, man.
So like, okay, you have the right poppy. How much do you need? Because everybody can grow a weed plant right now, but how much opium? Like,
I don't reckon it's that. Like you can just get one poppy and you'll be fine. You
You just go absolutely crazy off one poppy.
Yeah.
just
Go
sitting there
nuts.
popping like the seeds. What are you doing, man?
No, if you can refine the seeds, you can probably get like a shot of heroin or something.
Isn't
like
it?
that.
No, isn't it? Isn't it not the? It's not the seeds. It's the juice. That like
I
the.
don't know what it is.
It's like there's like the poppy little shell, and then you cut open part of it, and there's like the little stuff that comes out. It's like the stuff inside of it, not the seeds.
I only know the politics behind it. I don't know
okay.
the flower.
I think I saw it in this weird
Science
TV
nerd.
show that they were showing how to make opium in like an olden day like Viking village or something somewhere. I don't know, fucking idea. It's
I would
a
do
weird
that.
thing.
If I was a Viking, I would 100% any substance.
I would
that
do
just,
crack. Yeah. I would.
Yeah, anything that altered my mind and I wasn't, or like anything that took me away from the smelly ass boat with the dragon head.
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
down.
I don't know. I just wouldn't have the will to live.
No.
No, not to make it
As a
through the-
Viking? Or
not
just
to
doing
make it through
opium?
the Viking thing. I mean, as a Viking, you're just going from town to town raiding.
But the thing,
Jeez,
that's-
yeah.
I mean,
Clash of
Hank.
Clans.
I mean, the thing is, if it's all you know, it wouldn't be that
Yeah,
great.
great.
exactly. But you propose the hypothesis of if I was going
Okay, so
to
right
be.
now
Yes.
we go back in time.
No, I'd just kill myself. Yeah.
You'd kill yourself.
No, I'd stick around for a bit. I'd be like, you know what? I'm very lucky. I'm living in 2021. Oh my god, life's way easier here.
I think if you sit back and watch it as a TV show, like you walk, you're there, but you just kind of see it all unfold, and you're like, wow, we are so fucking lucky.
Yeah.
Like 2021.
I mean, they didn't have toilet paper. Fuck.
Oh my god, I didn't even think
Damn.
about that.
Yikes.
Yeah, no.
What would you do? No
wow,
toilet
they didn't
paper.
have toothbrushes either.
That was
The
just what I was
answer is always going to be the same for me.
Swim.
No, kill myself.
Damn. Just go
Could
to
you
a
do it that
river, bro.
easily?
Sorry.
You just kill yourself? Like you just fuck it. I'm done. I don't wanna be
I'm
here
already
anymore.
close, so why not?
I don't know if you're joking or not, Carter. So are you okay, bro?
Well, I mean, you'll find out.
Troy, how's your music going, man?
Yeah, yeah, Troy. Tell us all about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's going good.
Yeah, you said you were talking about you got, it wasn't signed, but you it's similar to what we said last week about basically having like a mentor.
Well, yeah, basically he reached out to me for some extra work, because he doesn't have the time for it. And then he was like, I think you should have some, like, here's some tips, basically.
So,
Um,
question, is he doing it the way that a lot of people do, where you pay him to do his work for him?
basically.
Oh my god.
Um,
Troy, don't fall for that.
But, well, no. But what's gonna happen is, so he's gonna hire me to work on this other guy's production,
Okay.
basically. So he's just the connector between the dots, and he's giving me information to use for that.
Do you have, like, any security, or is it just his word?
It's a pinky promise.
No, oh, okay. Like, okay, so from my genuine advice with a situation like that, I've listened to your music. You're so fucking good at it. The beats that you make are really good, and I know that, like, in situations like that, I think it's almost better for you to not necessarily pretend you know more than what you're talking about, but if, like, wasn't there a situation in the beginning where he was going to pay you and then found out that you didn't know as much as he thought?
Well, no, he's still gonna pay me. The thing is, he's not directly paying me. It's his client who's paying me, basically.
He's just like he's like the
middle guy.
He's
like
an
yeah.
engineer. So
Okay.
basically,
For musical engineer? Or?
Yeah, music.
Okay.
Yeah, so he works with, like, mixing and making professional mixes of music and stuff. So basically, he's just going to be giving me a whole bunch of good guidance, and it's a lot of good information that I haven't even, like, been able to understand, like, through doing my own research. And in, like, 2 hours of talking to him, I've learned, like, as much as I've learned in 3 years on the program.
Okay, so it is, like, you do genuinely feel like you're getting a
Oh,
proper...
I'm getting a lot of good stuff out of it.
Okay,
I'm getting
awesome.
a lot of good information, and I'm going to make the money back through him anyway.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, no, so I thought, like, obviously I wasn't sure, but, like, for anybody that is in a situation like that, make sure that you are at least genuinely learning or feel like you're getting a huge benefit, because paying for education and then also doing work on top for them, like...
But you're not paying for it, are you?
No, he is.
Well, only for, basically, he charges a rate every hour. So basically, he gives me a whole bunch of information that I can use towards how to properly do, like, automation and proper mixing of things.
Say you were in art school, how much would that cost you, say, an hour? Or
Way
music
less.
school? Yeah,
Way less.
Way less for music school?
In art school, it would cost you less?
Per hour? Well,
Wait.
actually, I'm not sure.
Right, because that's...
How much does he charge?
$15 an hour.
$50?
Mm-hmm.
So, wait, so can I ask you something? So basically, if you're sitting there working on his project for an hour straight, you pay him $50 for sitting there working on his project. Is that how it works? Or is it like when he's on the phone call and you're looking at your work and he'll go through your work with you?
Okay, so basically what he's doing is he has a very full plate.
Okay.
And he doesn't have enough time to do what he wants to do on this other guy who's, like, writing music. He doesn't have enough time to work on his music, so he's basically giving me an opportunity to build up my skill and work on properly, like, using timing and it. Sorry, I'm extremely tired, so talking is kind of difficult right now.
No, I get it.
How could you?
But yeah, basically he's just giving me advice on things, and I'm paying him per hour for advice and asking me questions to build my education to a higher standard, I guess, and then using that towards making the money back by working on this guy's music.
That's like, it makes sense for sure, and it's smart, but I think something that would be really good is, like, get a guarantee that when you're done, he's gonna hook you up with at least 3 clients, like more than just the one guy that you're working with already, so that you, and they don't even have to, like, not hook up as in, like, he gets you a job, but, like, even just get in contact with people that he knows need someone to do what you're doing.
He already basically did.
He does?
How is
Okay,
he
cool.
connected in the music industry?
He's been working on it for quite a few years.
Yeah, so I mean that's worth the amount on its own, because
Just
it's not what you know, it's who you
discoverability,
know, right?
Exactly.
So
discoverability is really hard in the music industry.
And
Anyways.
exactly kind of what I'm trying to do right now,
you know
because
stuff.
Well, I just know from
Bro,
Troy.
you heard his voice?
An angel, yeah.
It's amazing.
But yeah, he just knows a lot of people in Vancouver, Victoria area,
Nice.
and the rest of pretty far into Canada, I think, too.
Sick.
With quite a few things. So
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to ask because we haven't had a time to talk about it too much. And I know that, like, it's a serious dream of yours, right? Like, you have other things, but, like, it's your baby. It's like, yo, I'm gonna do everything else, and I'm always gonna be doing this on the side. And once it happens, this is like what I love to do, right?
yeah, definitely.
Right. So yeah, it's just something like, I don't know how much harder it is to get into that world of music. I'm not entirely sure.
I mean, it's not like you can do it overnight,
Mhm.
right?
exposure. Like you.
I mean, if you get on TikTok, I mean,
No, that's using
You
somebody
could.
else's music.
Not necessarily.
Can you use your own beats?
yeah,
Troy,
You can do whatever you want.
You should go the inverse way. Pay whoever. What's her name? Who's the super
yeah.
famous
Fuck
TikToker?
your mentor, man.
Yeah.
Go on TikTok, blow up, and plug your music every time.
I mean, yeah. It's
and
very possible
Gavin's
to do
Twitch.
it.
Don't forget.
Oh,
Gavin.
yeah,
Oh my
always
God.
gotta say that Gavin's Twitch.
Please check out my music and Family Pies, please.
You know, I looked that up during one of Seth's streams. I looked up what Gavin's name was because they were streaming together.
Dude, he sent a link to a Pornhub thing in my stream, and I was like, "Hey Seth, check this out." Like he was just texting me, and then I was like, "Hey Nico, can you not do that?
Dude, there was
you can't send Pornhub streams. There's like
There
kids,
was-
man. Maybe I don't
There was
know.
No kids. It
There's
was
no.
me,
It was like
Calum and Gavin. It was like a fun group chat where we got to watch you play video games.
hell yeah, that's how it should be.
But you know that that's his.
Yes, that's the whole joke, Nico. I don't.
You know
I just
what
don't
his-
get comedy, I guess. It's
You know
fine.
what his theme song is?
No.
It's okay. Do you know what Family Pies is?
It's the theme song for Family
I looked
Ties.
it up. I
Yeah.
do know that.
That's what his theme
It's
song
beautiful, dude. And it, like when he's offline, the little picture shows them, you know, with some gifts, like
It's
you know, the
lovely.
two girls with some gifts, just like on the Pornhub thing. Yeah.
Revolutionary.
Also, for Gavin's birthday, I was gonna get him a playmat with the Family Pies logo on it, but he never sent me the image.
Look it up on Pornhub.
But I have no idea how to find it on the Pornhub because his image is like high quality and actually really good, and it looks like it's like nice.
Yeah, he's. I mean, he's searched far and wide for a couple of his.
He spent
put
a
in his
lot of
research.
time.
Yeah, you can't. It's hard to just look up like Family Pies music. Because, I mean, like,
I'm in
what's
it,
gonna
guys,
show up?
guys. I don't care about the story. I don't care about the scene. I'm in it for the music.
Yeah,
The music.
I went born for the music. Troy, I found your calling.
Yo, that's what you
Damn.
should do, Troy.
Write soundtracks.
Make beats. Wow, we went so off topic. Where were we?
That's how it's supposed to be, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it. I'm happy with that.
Little
Oh, shit.
trails.
Okay, I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna get you a drink, Carter.
Wow.
Peace, boys.
All right. Short break for intermission.
Um,
Okay, Carter. So you said you had some questions for us about philosophy.
okay. No, not
So-
about philosophy. Just
Oh,
about
just
anything.
questions. Okay,
Okay,
cool.
okay.
I like.
All right, Carter. What do you have for us,
Hit
man?
us with those questions.
Okay, so the podcast is up again.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. So you
Uh,
said in the first episode that when you do mushrooms, a different part of your brain allows you to move body parts that you couldn't usually move. If you
Did I say that?
no, you,
Oh,
you,
okay.
you said if you manifest your energy.
Oh, okay,
Yeah. and you
That
can-
was Troy.
that was Troy.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Troy, if I did mushrooms, could I move my arm?
I think that's actually a perfect
That's a
example.
good question. Well, that's like because I heard a guy who was he didn't have any hearing in one ear, and then he did mushrooms, and he the entire time focused on trying to get his hearing back, and then he like fell asleep, and he woke up, and all of a sudden he heard like this little pitter patter, and he didn't have anything around him, and he looked like way over and on the railing like 10 feet away from him, he saw an ant, and the ant was what was making his noise. Either maybe he was really high on shrooms and he was just hearing shit, or
Had he heard anything before? Like, was this his
Out of his
first
ear?
experience hearing something?
no, he lost his hearing.
Oh, he lost it. So he knew what it sounded like beforehand.
Yeah.
Then I would guess that he was just imagining it. To be honest with you,
Yeah, but
because
I
when
think-
I got really high on mushrooms 2 days ago, and
Hell yeah, man.
I was thinking to myself, man, I'm gonna try to move my arm, and I felt it for a lot of the time. But at the end of the day, I after I was done, I was like, yeah, this arm's still fucking retarded.
But like, I think that's actually the perfect example because what I understand is that people are using mushrooms now, doctors, to experiment to reconnect dead brain
Rehabilitation.
synapses. And I assume that's what the issue, like a part of your brain doesn't fire that allows you to move the.
I mean,
your
it's just my
hand.
nerves, so yeah, it's part of my brain.
Yeah, like the nerves don't fire, right?
Like, I
And
think it would work to an extent, but I don't know if it would go fully to fully connect
Yeah, because you can't manifest
I
muscle.
no,
No.
I
No,
could see
but-
in the future though, like even 5 years from now, if legalization becomes a real thing, that actually does happen, where like doctors are experiencing ways to like, hey,
Yeah.
now you can move this, and like it's targeted. It's not like, man, I made some tea, bro, and I was real high, and I learned how to move my hand. But like targeted, directed, like, hey, this is what we're gonna go through. We're gonna cure. We're gonna fix your arm and make it so that the nerves do fire.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Do you think you could manifest getting rid of cancer or something?
think
I don't know.
cancer's
I've never had cancer, so.
I guess so.
I guess
You
maybe.
gotta get that. You know?
Oh yeah, I gotta test it
Do
out.
some research.
Test the waters.
Cancer is horrible. Like,
Thank you, Nico.
No. Like, honestly, of all of the
That's a
things-
good take. I mean,
it is horrible. No, but like of all of the diseases and stuff that I've like read about or heard about or seen or
you've had
anything
all
like
of
that. No, I just like the process behind it is so bad. The cure that we have is almost
It's not a
worse.
cure.
No. Sorry, the
Prevention.
treatment, quote unquote, that we have is almost more horrible than just dying. Like
that Western civilization has. The treatment
Yes.
that Western medicine
Yeah.
has. You know, there's other methods that you could do to prevent it, but
think-
that's all by placebo, and placebo is a perfectly good method of actually slowing down diseases.
I mean, is
very
placebo
true.
is placebo really that different from like antibiotics?
Well, you people have argued that antibiotics are mostly placebo, but antibiotics do cure things and they do slow things down and everything like that.
Sorry, not antibiotic, like vaccine or something like that. Where
Oh.
it's using your body's resources, because a vaccine, they introduce a virus into your body, so your body's predetermined resources know how to deal with it. Placebo effect, you believe that that you're getting cured from it, and because of that, your body cures itself, right? Like it's kind of the similar thing where it's using your own body's, because the human body is amazing. You can agree with that, right? Like it's one of the most amazing designed systems in the entire world. The brain is incredible, and it can do more than anything else that we can create ourselves, right? So is the placebo effect kind of similar in that way, where it tricks your own body into curing itself?
Well, the placebo is just like a change of what is the word I'm looking for?
Perspective.
Perspective. Thank you.
Name of the podcast.
Minus the Gen Z part.
Yeah.
No, it's just a change of perspective to your frontal lobe. So it's just like, it doesn't actually do anything, but when your frontal lobe is the thing that makes you feel, makes you react. So if your frontal lobe doesn't think that there's something wrong, then it's not going to produce things that make you think there's something wrong. I mean, it doesn't get rid of it doesn't get rid of like the cancer in your body, but you're not going to feel as much pain from the cancer in your body if you don't think that you have cancer.
Because your brain isn't producing the, like, what is it, stimuli? Like what? I don't know. I don't know. what the
It
word
just
is.
doesn't activate your nerves like it should.
Okay.
As soon as you're aware, like that's why a lot of people who get shot don't know that they got shot because they didn't actually see the bullet going in, and their body puts them into shock that way.
Like a lot of really bad injuries. They're yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But if you get fucking stabbed, you know
see-
you got stabbed, so your body's gonna be like, holy shit, I
you got stabbed.
That makes sense, but I think it also has a limit because you don't know when you're really sick, but your body already knows that you're sick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
but-
So like
Also
you didn't
time.
see the virus go into you or anything, but your body's already fighting it even before you notice it or even feel it.
But yes, if you're scared of germs, though, you're going to be more likely to be sick because you're aware that there's hundreds of thousands of
Yeah,
different viruses
exactly.
in your body at any given time.
It's like
So-
when, like, I remember in middle
But that
school.
still isn't okay.
What?
But I just mean that like it's not a really doesn't make it of a fix.
No. Placebo isn't a fix by any means.
Okay. Oh,
it's
okay.
Just, it's just
It's almost like painkillers.
yes, it's just a way of tricking your brain, and
Into thinking
and tricking your brain is a perfectly valid medicine, right? Like
Yeah.
I feel like people do it every day. You trick yourself into, I don't know, whatever.
Believing you're happy.
It's a great. I was gonna go that dark, but it is a great way to deal with like mental health. A lot of it is like, you almost trick yourself into being like, okay, cool, this is how it's happening.
that's how it be.
This is
I
how it
mean,
be. So you get
the
up
way
and
I
work-
deal with
get
mental
up and
health
work.
is I'm like, hey, there's a lot of worse shit that I could be going through right now, and there's a lot of worse shit out there. I should probably stop complaining and do something constructive with
People
this
complain
shit
way too
that's
much.
happening.
It's so
Agreed.
true. We have it so good, and
I
we
complain about really menial things that I probably shouldn't complain about. Like today, my coffee mug was dirty, and I was like, you know what? Fuck
I mean,
that.
how are you going to come back from that?
it put a damper on my whole morning. But then, like, if something terrible happens, it doesn't really get me down for too long.
Exactly. That's exactly what I go through, man. I'm just like, fuck, like, I can't believe I have to do this very small menial thing.
The fucking recycling. God damn it, Mom! What the hell? Oh.
No, it's true though. Like we have a perceived idea of what's really bad, and then we get put in this idea. Like we're in this, like in high school. Let's say use high school as an example. You're there, and somebody comments something shitty on your Instagram, and you care about it a lot, and then it like becomes like this huge deal, and maybe like your friend talks shit about you behind your back. In the grand scheme of things,
I mean, you should feel bad if your friend's talking shit.
yeah, okay, sure, but like you know what I mean though. Like
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of things, you're stressing about it. It really is not that important, and you think it's really important because you don't have perspective on what other people are going through, and a lot of the times. And I find I don't know if you guys do this, but it helps me so much to like kind of have like a reality check when I'm feeling really down. And be like, you know what, honestly,
100%.
life isn't that bad. Like we have it pretty good.
We take things for granted.
We
Seth,
really do.
Seth, have you read Nietzsche?
I have read some Nietzsche, but I'm not gonna say I'm very versed in it. I've read like some of the quotes. I've read some of the works, but he's so fucking complex. I usually I listen to Philosophize This to kind of help me digest it more, because it is, man. I tried to read The Will to Power, which is like half written by his sister, or like kind of put together by his sister.
It's translated.
And also translated. And it's hard to read, man. I read it and I'm like, I have absolutely no idea what this means.
That's
This
what makes
is
it so hard to read.
Insane.
German and like different Germanic philosophers. Like, do you know who Kierkegaard is?
Yeah.
I was talking to you about that.
Oh, yeah, you love
Kierkegaard is an
Kierkegaard.
incredibly hard read because Germanic is where English came from, so they use direct translations. Where when you're reading a book by Lao Tzu, they would never make a direct translation, but because German and Danish is so close to English, they just decide, oh, we can do regular translations, and that makes the book so hard to read.
It does. It makes it incredibly dull to read.
So what is
It's
it
like-
about? What's it about?
Oh, well, I was going to say, because you said that it's all about like putting your life into perspective and everything like that.
Yeah.
And that's the philosophy of Nietzsche, is just to take control of the life that you have, and to realize what you have the power to do and what you don't have the power to do, and just be content with that.
Content is a really good way.
I love Nietzsche, man. He fucking saved my life, man.
He saved my life.
Nihilism has made me so happy.
Zadian is a far better nihilist than you are. You have no idea. He is
What?
way better.
Okay, wait,
It's
so-
not a fucking competition.
I know,
bro.
but he's just such a perfect nihilist.
Gavin's a
Like,
better
what's
redhead
what's
than
a-
you, bro.
Yeah,
Carter,
that's fine.
Carter, what's a nihilist?
a nihilist is someone who just says like, it doesn't really matter.
Okay, so hang on. I got a game I want to play. Go around. You said that like Zadian's a better nihilist than Seth. If you were gonna say like just like looking at Seth, knowing Seth, hearing the way he talks, what outlook or philosophy do you think he has?
That's a hard one because I don't know how he tackles his life. I don't hang out with Seth enough.
That's
I know how he is with you. I don't know how he deals with adversity though.
I thought you were gonna say I don't know how he deals with it. I know he's like,
I know,
but I don't know how he
You
deals
guys, I
with it.
mean, fuck. No, I don't like. I haven't seen Seth in
His element.
Yeah, I haven't seen Seth in like a really challenged spot. I didn't. I know when your dog died. I talked to you about that, but
Yeah,
I don't know how you emotionally handled that. So I can't. So how did you emotionally handle your dog?
Oh, I don't really want to talk about it.
That's fine.
I got my own
So,
way of.
so his philosophy is avoidance.
Yeah, a little
There we go. We
bit.
got it.
It actually works pretty well.
It does. No.
Ignore a
It works
problem
for-
until it goes away.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If you ignore a problem long enough, then you just kind of forget about it. It's not a problem anymore.
Best way to break up with someone.
Jesus Christ, Nico.
It is. No, that's how you do it. You ghost them.
You
Damn.
ignore them long enough, then they just go away.
Yeah.
That's
You ghost them.
sad.
This is what you do. You ghost them until they bring it up, and that way you never have to break up with anyone. Because even if you do want to break up with someone, you just ghost them, and then they come back and they're like, "Oh, why aren't we talking anymore? Do you want to break up?" And then you just go, "Well, it was your idea, so yeah."
Okay, wait.
Damn.
Wow.
That's
Wait,
very
totally.
passive
That is a
aggressive.
terrible idea, Carter. I'm
Yes, it
sorry,
is.
man. If you're with someone and you don't want to be in a relationship anymore, you find yourself being
Probably
interested
just
in
talk to
other
them.
people. Just, I mean, yeah. Seth has the best.
We have
advice.
words for a reason,
Yeah, I
boys.
actually agree. I think the easiest way to avoid problems is to talk to them.
100%.
Situations become easier with open communication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The situations become easier with open communication, but they still are situations. If you don't talk about it, it's not a situation anymore.
I think they get worse, and then
Yeah.
they
I
boil
actually,
over.
They can.
I think they get worse because problems will just build up doors. They'll knock
Exactly.
behind doors, and
Exactly.
those doors will get louder and louder, and eventually break down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then instead of this small thing, like something will become a trigger. Like you say, you guys are living together, you see each other all the time.
I wouldn't do that to someone I'm living with.
No. But we're talking about like a relationship, right?
Yeah.
It would build up, and then you wouldn't like wash your dishes, and then you'd have a huge fight, and you wouldn't know why, and the trigger would be something as mundane as like the dishes that you didn't wash, rather than if in the start off you were like, hey, it kind of bothered me when you said this and this. Like I would prefer, if you love them enough, you're gonna
be honest.
probably be.
But also,
okay
don't
with
just
me.
bring up every single problem you have with somebody, because there's certain things that just
You can let
they're just
go.
not gonna like. There's some certain things you just don't have to bring up. It's like, I don't like how you did the dishes. Okay.
Hey, you
I
fucked
still
my
did the
brother.
fucking
I mean,
dishes.
just leave it alone.
Like you don't have to bring up every little thing that annoys you about your
Yeah.
partner or
Yeah.
whoever, because
it's-
there's definitely going to be things that annoy you about different people. Like there's so many things that annoy me just about you guys sitting here right now, and I'm not gonna bring it up because I'm not a dick.
You just did.
Yeah, I got
What the fuck?
No, but like in all relationships, even friendships and like with your family as well, it's got to be give and take. Like you
Yeah.
have to be okay to make sacrifices, and also be okay to be like, yo, like this is who I am, and you got to stand up for yourself and kind of like there's just gonna be a give and take. You got to be 50-50. If a relationship is
Completely.
lopsided, it won't last. At
I
all.
agree.
Right? Like
You know, Carter, I would disagree with you that Zadian is a better nihilist.
Okay, go ahead.
Because he cares so much about being a nihilist that he literally came up to me. He's like, "I'm a better nihilist than you," and I was like, "Okay," and just there kind of proves the point against him, that he cares so much about being a
Ironic
nihilist
statement.
that
Yeah.
he isn't a nihilist.
He is the perfect nihilist, and no nihilist cannot care about anything. It just doesn't happen. You
we
have
be human.
Well, yeah, obviously.
you are human, and his philosophy is based purely around nihilism, and that's what makes him such a perfect nihilist. Is because he's always thinking first and foremost, what is the Stoic way to address this issue? And I don't think you do that, but I don't know you.
That's true. I don't
So-
think. I'm not.
He
I know.
doesn't.
I'm more of a nihilist in the sense of I don't think through my life like a nihilist, because that's quite miserable. Thinking that everything is
Yeah, it is.
fucking doesn't mean anything and life is pointless and a whole bunch of other things like that. You can think them at your core, but then if you portray your life that way, you're gonna be a dick to everybody else. He kind of is.
No, he's not.
dude,
He
he's
just doesn't
sometimes,
care,
man.
and it's perfect. I love Zadian, man. He's not
Sometimes,
as cool. He's
but
not as
there's-
cool as
Yeah,
Aramis.
he's
but
a good guy.
There's certain levels of things that you should care about, because he said some things that just you probably shouldn't say to certain people. It's just like you gotta be. You can believe nothing matters, but you don't have to be a dick.
Shout out to the best podcast on South Spring Island, Zadian's podcast.
Silent
God, does
Fruit.
he have one?
Silent Fruit.
I
Silent
haven't
Fruit.
heard
It's
it.
really good. He just
No
basically
offense to you
makes.
guys, but Sound of Fruit is where it's at.
I haven't heard it at all.
It's
What's it about?
basically an ASMR channel where he
Talks about fruit.
talks about fruit, like gives the backstory about fruit as well. It's actually pretty cool.
That's an idea.
He even has merch.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's pretty amazing.
Next level. I think something that I don't really like is I've always found it really hard to be just like in Zadian's case, just a nihilist. Like it's part of the reason that I have like troubles with like me being personally religious or like having a straight philosophy is because I find it so hard to like base my ideas off something that somebody else has
course.
told me is the reality of a situation.
But your whole philosophy needs to be a mix of things that you subscribe to.
yeah.
So a lot of my philosophy bases off my favorite philosopher, who's Kierkegaard. But I'm aware that every Western philosopher has an Eastern counterpart that contradicts that philosopher. Like, what's the biggest line of the Western philosophy, or of the Eastern philosophy? If you fail, keep on trying again until you make it. And then in the West, it's if you keep on trying the same thing over and over and over again. That's the definition of insanity.
I love that line so much.
So, it's two perfectly valid things, but they contradict each other so perfectly. And
It's like yin and yang.
It's
Yeah.
it's kind of weird that they teach that because failure is the best teacher. You learn like
I don't think it's not a very smart thing they said, because it only really represents.
I mean, it was Einstein who said it. So
No,
He's not very
I don't think. I don't.
Yeah, he's a
actually
loser.
Think,
I
I also
should've
don't think.
known Einstein.
I don't.
he's in that 70%.
yeah, I'm that light work baby. I'll take off
Was
my
it actually confirmed that he said that? Because I've heard that was just some random shit that he didn't actually say, and people
Sorry,
told.
which thing?
If you like the definition of insanity is just doing the same thing over and over again.
I don't even know who said it first. I just have heard it.
So
It
like
makes
walking
sense
is
to me.
insanity.
No,
I
no,
know.
but if you fail at it and then you keep on trying.
Oh,
it,
I see.
I can see him. I can see it in a very literal sense of mathematics, where it's like you're trying to add 2 + 2 and get 5, and you keep trying it over and over again. I
It's
can
not
see
going
it
to
in
happen.
like a really.
I mean, if you read 1984, you realize that does happen.
Explain.
Do you know? Have you read 1984?
No, I haven't. I am supposed to get around. I'm really trying to get around to doing it, but yeah.
It's basically 1984. It's about mind control and how you can change someone's perspective so much that
With torture and manipulation.
and torture manipulation that they end up thinking that 2 + 2 = 5.
I mean, if I was taught in the beginning that
Yeah,
2 + 2
2 +
is
2 =
5, I'd be like,
yeah.
okay, sure.
Yeah, of course it does. I mean,
Things are what they are because we've learned them the way they are. That's about it.
I mean, kind of weird take. You think that that Hitler and the Nazis would be considered bad if
They
they won
won?
the war?
no, of course
Yeah,
not.
probably
Because
not.
history is written by the victors.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
again, they wouldn't. The Holocaust wouldn't have come out if they had won. The Jews would have just disappeared, much like the Uyghurs are in China. So
Like the who?
the Uyghurs, the Muslim.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's not that's not talked about in China, same as the internment camps weren't talked about in Germany.
You
It
know,
just wouldn't have happened.
Disney filmed right beside one of those internment camps and did absolutely nothing about it.
I believe
What?
that. I mean,
Yeah.
Walt Disney was a huge fascist. and-
Mulan.
That's true.
He was a
Mulan
terrible
was
fucking-
filmed. A lot of Mulan was filmed there, as
Really?
well. Yeah.
It was a good movie.
Yeah, because of all the death.
Yeah. Wow, Nico.
No, but it is really interesting, like war and anything like that, and the way you're taught. Like we talked about it now. Actually, I don't even know if we were recording. We were like, if we were to start a society right now, we would all decide that is it capitalism? Democracy is the best way to do it because
Actually,
that's what we're raised in.
That kind of leads perfectly into something I want to ask you guys. So there's this thing called the lens of perspective, and it's a thought experiment where you're being born into this world, and you can create this world, and you're creating the political structure of this world. You have no idea where you're going to be in this democracy, whatever place it is. You can choose whatever kind of system of politics you want. Now, what kind of system are you going to choose? And you have no idea where you're going to be placed in it. It could be placed at the top, the bottom, wherever. So what are you guys going to choose?
Well, I would just go with, like, 'cause it's the one that I know. I would go with democracy, same with anyone else.
No, but you don't know. You literally are being born. You have no
Oh, I don't have
like
any.
you're just being born into a society. You have to create it. You have no idea.
I mean,
what any
it
other
would
thing.
probably just go like how it was for hundreds of years before, if there was a settled system where it would just be anarchy. I mean, if it was just
It would
born
be
out of
chaos
nothing.
first. I mean,
No, that's not, guys. It's
explain
like
it.
it is like a structured society,
Okay.
like one on Earth right now,
Okay.
or one that you invent yourself.
Okay.
And it's like, hey, I'm gonna be born into this society. I don't know where I'm gonna be born. What's the structure gonna be?
Well, how are we supposed to figure out how we're
I
supposed
don't
to?
think there's enough.
Yeah, we can't do that because we only have our preconceived
You don't
notions.
have
No,
enough-
you gotta
not
take
enough
yourself
information
out
in
of
question.
you gotta take yourself out of that though.
So what would you do?
I would make a communist society.
But do you know that? Because you're just being born.
Okay, no, hang on. Why would you choose to make a communist society?
Because is the most likely to lead with a somewhat good result. Because if you're in a democracy, you might be going into the very bottom or the very top. It's like the cake thing. If you Sorry. Oh damn. It's like if you're cutting a piece of cake, you're gonna cut it the most even that you can.
Yes, but okay. What country do we have that like doesn't do communism but does like the everybody's equal better than anything else? Is it
can argue that it's.
Norway? Is it Netherlands?
it's anywhere in the Scandinavia, but they're all secretly fascists.
Good thing nobody heard that. Oh, just in the bathroom down the hall. You should be able to. There's like a towel that you can.
Which
use.
let's just pause it for a second.
Country that
I
has
know that's
the
not how
most-
it is. I don't know if you can actually really say that that's not how communism works because
I mean, it's not the ideal.
And exactly,
Yeah.
but it's just the communism that you're thinking of. Just because it's been executed poorly by lots of shitty people doesn't mean that it can't work. I think it's a very narrow-minded view to have.
Do you really think that? Like,
I think that
how many
communism,
times has it been
if
executed?
people are actually have equality and there's no one that is like at the top that controls everything and everybody's equal and everybody helps and
But
build
that-
each other up like a community, then communities can stay together a lot stronger than a whole bunch of different strong people against a whole bunch of weak people, right?
I think
If it's actually executed properly, I think it could probably
That's
work.
what everyone has ever said, though. Every university person, everyone who comes out of university from a left-wing university always comes out by saying, well, they just haven't done communism properly. And every time that they do that, they try communism and it doesn't work. Now, it's been tried in Venezuela, it's been tried in Norway, it's been tried, and every time it either becomes, it's the reason that it works in Norway is because they have so much oil and that they have that one connector that can pretty much do it, and also because they're neo-fascists, Norwegians, not like Norwegians, but the Norwegian government, because they don't allow immigration, they don't allow They only allow a monoculture of just 99% white people, and then the rest are demonized until they become effectively white people. It's awful, and it's look at Sweden. Pretty much all they say is all these left-wing agendas that they like to put out, and then the rest is, and then after all this left-wing stuff that comes out, they goes, Islam is rapists, because that's what their media is trying to tell them. Has rape increased? Yes. Is it because of immigration? Yes, but they're generalizing so much because they don't know how else to deal with it, because they have so much, basically their idea of fascism. They supported Hitler. Sweden, Norway, and Finland, they were all easily taken by Hitler because the people supported it, or they initially supported it, like Finland, and they never got punished for it. And they still kept with their fascist ideas to this day. And you can say, oh, is this person, or is a lot of left-wing people say, this is the best society on earth. Yeah, but they don't allow immigration. They don't allow everything that you strive to believe in. Like, I'm pro-immigration because I think it creates a lot of creativity and new ideas that we need.
I've never really heard anybody ever say, I'm anti-immigration. I don't want people to have the ability to explore the world.
Well, no, that's not, I mean, you've never heard people say that they're anti-immigration?
No.
Really?
Based
I've
on
heard lots of people say that.
Yeah.
No, I never, like, I understand, like, the idea, like, oh, I don't want these people coming into our country and taking our jobs and stuff, but I've never actually heard people say that, like, I don't know, I don't see, okay, well then,
I think you're mixing up, I think you're mixing up immigration with travel.
Because I know what immigration is. You go to a country and you live there and you work there.
Yeah.
You become a part of the society. I mean, I guess that's not true. I have heard people say it, but I would say on the same side as you that I would totally understand, I guess, pro-immigration. Like, why wouldn't you want to have that as a part of your culture?
But Carter, can't people support some parts of a society and not actually agree with the whole entire thing? Because if, like, how many people? I did not know that those countries didn't allow immigration at all.
I mean, Sweden does.
So-
they allow a very small percentage of it, but
But a lot of countries allow a very small percentage of it as well, right?
Like
A lot of countries.
Canada is one of the hardest countries to move to.
if you look at Canada, though, what is it built out of? It's built out of immigrants.
Yeah.
So it's just like, what are we bringing in? What is the new idea? We have to have immigration because our birth rate is too low to support our population.
Yes.
So to actually feasibly continue Canada, we have to have immigration.
But it's all like it's the slowest. It has the most amount of upper middle class people in the world. It is Canada, and it has like.
Is that a bad thing?
No, not at all. I mean,
Okay.
I don't think so.
I was just checking what you thought.
No.
Yeah.
And then there's also a reason that it's. I think it's at least top there. I know it's worth more than the U.S. passport. Having U.S. Canadian citizenship.
Because people like the Canadians.
But there's like another country that like it kind of does communism, but it doesn't really, and it's a European country, and I was trying to find it, and I can't find it for the life of me. But it like they diversify the wealth so that almost every single person is upper middle class. They diversify the education. They make, I believe it's the country. They do like school ends at like 3:00 in the afternoon. People who work there have like a.
Oh, well, that's pretty much all of Scandinavia.
Is it those countries?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like what like they have. Their system and they're very, I don't know if they're like forward, I guess, I don't know, I would call it forward thinking.
Yes, they are. They're very progressive, but with the progressive idea, it's just they say a lot about progressiveness, but then they aren't progressive in other ways, and that's pretty much every system ever, but it's just.
And that's pretty much every person ever as well.
Exactly.
Everybody just preaches what they think is going to
I want
please somebody.
change as long as it's how I want change.
Exactly. But I think it's totally fine to agree with a country even if you don't agree with everything they do. Like I'm a Canadian and I still think that lots of things that Canadians have done is absolutely shitty. Like we turned away in World War II a boat of like 2,000 Jewish people and made them go back to Germany because we didn't want Jewish people in our country.
We
were
also
racist.
forced.
we didn't even turn them away. They were here. They landed in Vancouver.
And they said no.
And
sorry,
then
you're
they were
going
on the boats.
Go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were like this, like a foot away from freedom.
We also forced asbestos on pretty much every African household that existed.
Really?
Yeah, the Canadians created asbestos.
Can you explain what that is?
Asbestos is an insulation that's extremely poisonous. They haven't figured out that it was poisonous, but
so bad.
yeah,
Canadians it gives you cancer.
Yeah, Canadians figured out that it was poisonous about 10 years before, or the Canadian scientists that developed it to realize that it was poisonous.
Yeah.
But 10
But
years
is
said
it
was
cheap? It was cheap.
It's
yeah, so it
really
was
cheap, yeah.
And so they basically said to Africa, "Hey, we'll sell you all of this," and that's how they got rid of it so quickly.
Damn. I know one of my friends' schools in Victoria still has asbestos. It's still running in the walls,
Mm-hmm.
and like people just go and hit it and like hit the walls and like make asbestos go everywhere. And,
Yeah,
like, the
tons
locker
of
room.
tons of Canadian households, tons of
terrible.
global households still have it. It
That's
wasn't
really
really
bad.
made in much of Europe because they had their own thing going. But yeah,
But I think you can still you can still agree with parts of a country, and not just demonize the whole entire thing because they've done something terrible. Like America has done amazing things for science and education and a whole bunch of things,
Mhm.
even though they've done terrible things in the past. There's always a good and the bad. There's always like a bad counterpart to the good that happens.
when
in a
you're a
country.
global superpower like America is, you have to have a bad history. It's the same with any superpower. Like Romans, like millions upon millions of slaves. The Brits,
How do you think they got there?
yes,
Yeah,
the Brits.
exactly.
How much did they fuck with every country on the planet?
Oh my God, yeah.
The Americans then pretty much bombing the shit out of Vietnam and
Tokyo as well. The
proxy
Tokyo
wars.
firebombing was horrendous.
Yeah.
I mean,
I have an interesting thought experiment for you guys, and it's something that I've been thinking about. And I know they've kind of tried it, but the simplest way that I can explain it is looking at Star Wars. They have just listen to me. They have their planets, and they have their Senate, and they have their leader. They have the Republican, the Chancellor, right? When are we gonna move from, rather than them being 7 continents and a bunch of different countries and states and things like that, to one unified group, Earth,
Yeah.
and that is, and we all follow the same currency. We all follow this, and the way that it comes, you can still have the separate factions,
Yeah.
but they all make their decisions. It's like
It'd be very smart,
like
yeah.
the League of Nations or whatever we have now. We have the
United Nations.
we have the United Nations, but like that concept. But there's going to be an elected person, and everybody works together, and like you're all under the same currency and things like that. The
Yeah.
problem is getting there because people have had that dream. Germany had that dream of a world under one flag. Right?
Yeah.
So I think
not. Yeah. Okay.
I know, but like you know what I mean, right? Like,
Yeah.
But like, so I think it's a really interesting idea and thought experiment to have the world built like that, as Earth is
Yeah.
our planet, right? Especially if we're, like, I don't know, and then wars, controversies, it would be so much more boiled down because there's no one to fight. There's no one out there. There's no one else. It's just us that we've discovered so far, and a lot of problems and a lot of like discord and like I don't know what the word is.
Controversy?
Controversy and like opposition from each other in the fighting. It would be null because there's be no one to fight, and you would elect who is in charge.
Yeah.
Right now, the reason that there is racism and all this discrimination against different people is because humans are naturally xenophobic, right?
Yeah,
As soon as we see something that's new to us, we're immediately scared.
that's like
Yeah.
Yes.
triggered reaction.
So as soon as we find life elsewhere, humans can unite under one flag because we will have something to universally hate.
especially if it is intelligent enough to actually pose a
Yes.
threat to us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. And from our standards, we're not going to find life. Life is going to find us. We don't have, well, at least not in
Not
our
yet.
present time.
Unless Elon Musk is
Yeah.
again a genius.
I mean, that's another thing, is he's wanting people to go live on Mars. It's not like a dystopian paradise that's going to be where all the rich people go. It's actually going
So
to be
you-
brutal and hard work to recolonize a
Yeah.
huge new planet. But if we're talking about interplanetary countries and worlds and a system, I don't think people are going to care US, China, Russia. Like, I feel
No.
like at that point it has to be one global system where everybody pulls
One
our
Coruscant.
humanity, because it doesn't matter what your skin color is. Any of that shit doesn't matter. It's humanity, and we're going to have to pull
Yeah.
together
Yeah.
Coruscant. And, like, I don't know, like, Star Wars is just the easiest. Like,
It's a pretty good, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, have you heard of the Fermi paradox, where it's basically that if life was going to find us, it would have already found us, or if it either
I think it already has.
life either there's like these 2 different stages, and it's like you either get so far along that you get wiped out by another alien race, you get so far along that you wipe yourself out, or you don't get far along, an alien race comes and wipes you out. And there's like 3 different things like that. So we could be in the stage where we either never find it at all because it's not a thing, or we get destroyed by it, or we destroy ourselves.
I think we're probably already colonized and conquered by an alien race. Do you think that deers know that they're in Canada?
That's a
No.
very great
No.
fucking example.
So we probably don't know that we're under the control of a multi-planet empire that's controls us, because we're just there's so many Earths or things that are like Earth. We're not special.
No.
And this universe is huge.
Yeah, exactly. And so if there is a thing great enough to, or if there is a power that is great enough to colonize other planets, they've just gone over us, like how explorers went over like Louisiana. They just didn't like look through every leaf. They just went as far as they could and documented what they had.
Right, because it's so far, like, because it's so vast and so hard, especially like traveling through space is so fucking challenging.
Yeah.
For us, I guess.
I mean, they're probably just like, it's like those motherfuckers don't even have space travel yet. Like,
Why would I want to get in contact with them?
they're
I mean,
stupid. I mean, I don't care.
I think we can all be clear. There's 100% possibility, just based on statistics, that life does exist somewhere else out there in the
course.
universe. Because if something is never ending, there has to be something else, right?
The universe isn't never ending though.
It's
It's
never ending.
continuously expanding, but it's not. Never
Okay, so here's the thing then. If it's continuously expanding, what is outside the universe? What is there?
There's
there's
other.
not-
There. I mean, okay. So our universe is a collection of local galaxies, right?
Okay.
And that's expanding more and more and more.
Yeah.
We know that it's an expanding universe, but when the universe is expanding, it's not. More things are popping up in that expanded.
No, the
area.
distance between
It's
us is
just-
getting greater.
Yes, it's just a nothing, like a bunch of nothing.
So, can we then eventually theorize that looking at our universe is kind of the same as looking at our galaxy compared to another galaxy? Like, that, okay, giant circle, we'll call space, right? In the beginning, there was our Big Bang, right? There's probably another Big
Singularity.
Bang up somewhere else in another part of this giant circle that we'll call space.
A little bubble.
So rather than universe being the biggest thing, space would have to be the biggest. Like, there's no after space, because like you're right, when we're consistently getting farther apart from everything else and all of our matter and everything from this giant
The
explosion.
heat death of the universe. Can't wait.
It's an exciting time.
It is an exciting time. None of us will be here to see it, but
You never know.
it could happen tomorrow. Actually, that is something. Like, if the sun exploded right now, we got 8 minutes, boys.
Yeah.
We got 8 minutes.
I mean, so light and gravity both move at the speed of light.
Wow.
So they move at the same speed. So
Yeah.
as soon as the sun explodes, we'll just be flung off, but not for 8 minutes, and that's the 8-minute time that the sun will finish. So as soon as the sun vanishes in our eyes,
Yeah.
we'll start moving free.
That's really interesting.
I don't think gravity is as fast as the
Yes,
speed
it
of
is.
light. How so?
It's nothing can move faster than the speed of light, but things can move as fast as it.
I think things can move.
But
I
I
don't
don't
know if
think
that's right. Is that why?
I don't think that's true.
Okay.
No, because gravity is
wanna make a bet?
different. Gravity is
No,
different
I'm
based on
not
mass.
a child.
I love betting.
Betting is pretty fun. Play some poker, boys. No, but Carter, didn't you say, like, isn't gravity based on mass? Like, the amount of like, I exert a gravitational pull. This
Everyone does.
jar exerts a gravitational pull
But
based on the
there's
mass.
no gravitational pull that's greater than the Earth.
On-
That
affects us.
That affects us. So we're not
Yeah.
constantly drawn to each other.
Yeah, because
But if you look in water or in like any liquid where gravity isn't as effective, the things move closer together.
they drift together. Yeah.
Cereals drift together into two.
Right. That's
Because-
because gravity isn't pulling it down anymore.
Yes, their gravity is just the ones that are affecting it. So
It's kind of interesting thinking of gravity because, like, we're constantly affected by it, so we don't notice it, right? It's, again, about our perspective, right? But you go to Mars, you go to the moon, you go to something else, the mass is different, and the gravitational force affecting you is different.
that's why I would be worried about going to Mars, because as soon as you go to Mars, you're going to create the next generation that comes is going to be weaker.
Far
physically.
weaker. Even
Physically,
if you, because I could probably bench press 600 pounds on Mars,
Yeah.
right?
I thought you were going
It's
to say
like-
now. It's like, no, you can't. Fuck you.
No, not on Earth. Because weight is interchanged with mass. Sorry, weight is interchanged with, mass and gravity. It's not the same thing. Like, your weight is, I believe that's the form. It's like mass times gravity. No, that's velocity. Sorry. Anyways, but like, it's interchange. It's not the same exact thing. Weight and mass are different, right? So you go to Mars, people are gonna have to put less effort in to move their body.
Yeah.
Right, so it's gonna
Less effort to just get up and walk. So that's the
it's
the
gonna
thing.
be for other people. It'd be interesting. You know how people like train in super high elevations, We get to like interplanetary travel. You're training for like a fight or a boxing fight or whatever it is. You go to Venus and you're like, all right, guys, gravity here is crazy.
Well, Venus is bigger, so it actually would be.
Venus is actually a gas giant, so you wouldn't even be able to.
How did it go, Seth?
Oh no, you definitely. No, that's right. It seems right.
Thank you. Yeah.
So wait, so
It's about
gravity
fucking time
and
I
light
get some
move at the same-
recognition. Yeah, they move it the same.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. I always thought
Neither
that
did I.
gravity could bend light, and it was the only force stronger than light.
I mean, it might be stronger, but it doesn't matter about how fast it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Light's a constant.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Always
didn't
the
we
same.
like? You just can't.
Even light going through glass, people say it's getting slowed down. It's just bouncing off particles in the glass.
No. Light can't be. I mean,
It's not. It never slows down.
I think the problem
Just getting to you slower, or it's getting to you in more time.
for us
Because well, if going through glass, it looks like you can.
You'll never be able to see the difference. But
No, like going through glass, you can measure it going slower with a fast enough camera, a good enough camera. If it's a massive thing of glass, you can see the pattern of it going through.
Mhm.
Like you know those laser beams?
Yeah.
You can
yeah.
see the pattern of that, and that's the same as light. It goes at the speed of light.
Yeah.
that's pretty dope.
The thing about light is like, for us to achieve interplanetary travel and even like move into other solar systems and stuff, you're gonna have to get to a certain velocity to travel
Yeah.
at speed.
It is
the maximum
impossible.
velocity that we've discovered is the speed of light. There's no way that we can even theorize
That
or
we
imagine
think of, yeah.
that
In
we-
our little small human brains.
Exactly. Right.
The
that
best
we
way of
can-
getting food for a cat is us. So,
But the
I
thing-
mean,
no, no,
same
but-
thing.
The thing is that you said it's impossible to get to the speed of light. I don't agree with that. The only reason it's impossible is getting there. You could probably reach that speed. The problem is
No.
acceleration to that level, because we feel acceleration. We don't feel velocity. Your body could handle moving at the speed of light. It just would be.
It
really
just wouldn't be
fucking-
able to handle going from 0 to the speed of light.
Exactly. Like the
Oh,
idea
yeah.
of light speed travel is fucking.
Because of
weird.
relativity. That's how you wouldn't die.
Yeah, I mean, like right now, if the planet stopped moving, we'd all burst into like.
I mean,
perspective-
if the Earth stopped spinning, we wouldn't combust, but
No.
wind speeds would be so quick that they would just get blown apart.
No, if we stop rotating around the sun.
Oh yeah.
Because
yeah.
right now we're moving, all of us are moving at like, what is it, 10,000 kilometers an hour?
More
Like,
than
it's
that,
ridiculous.
yeah.
Crazy. We're spinning on a little solar system that's spinning around a galaxy that's just spinning around like a fucking black hole that's spinning around a whole bunch of other different mini universes
Well, it's a bunch of
around.
spirals,
And we're going to be colliding with another universe soon too. Not soon, but
Soon.
soon in the cosmic calendar, as Neil deGrasse Tyson puts it. Quite soon.
Within 5 billion years, we won't be able to live on Earth anymore. So.
Right. Elon
Yeah.
Musk, if you're listening, solution to our problem, use gravity and let's just take the Earth there.
Yeah,
We'll
man.
use gravity and we'll
Get a
just,
gravity gun.
Elon, why didn't you fucking think of this?
Dude,
shit?
honestly,
on, Elon.
Get some big thrusters, put it on like Africa. We'll move everybody off of there.
Stop. Pause. Big thrusters.
Yeah. I don't know.
that's kinda
like a
thought.
giant engine, and we'll just
Is it
change
electric?
the direction. Yes.
Okay.
Obviously, it's Elon Musk.
That's true. Good.
He hates
I-
gas car.
Actually, although it is
It has a
ironic-
rocket.
It is ironic. He did say, he's like, yeah, there's no way for space travel to be electric. You could make the fuel with electricity, but there's no way for you to like conversely fly through space on an electric.
Well, if you can
vehicle.
actually get out of the Earth, then I guess it doesn't fucking matter anymore, does it?
Yeah.
I mean,
Doesn't
there's
matter
no
at all.
Friction, you just need energy behind you.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, with the more so if you have jet fuel, that's more mass that you need to account for when you're doing it. So
And it's heavier,
Mm.
which means that
you need more jet fuel, which
yeah,
means it's heavier.
that's
which
why
means-
it's impossible to get to the speed of light, is because you need an infinite amount of fuel and an infinitely massive tank to get to the speed of light, because it's always going to be increasing, and the more energy you need to get higher and higher speeds, the more fuel you're going to have in the tank.
Yeah, but okay, you can get to an infinite source of energy. Can be light though. So, I mean, if you can use light as your infinite source, then you
How are we going to use light as our source?
This is
Solar?
the thing. We're not going to get there yet.
we,
Solar
like
panels.
it's not anywhere close to developed enough. I'm not even saying that we'll be able to even our great grandchildren.
Carter, let's
will
make
be
a
able to do
bet.
this.
You say you like bets. I want
I
you
love
to
bets.
invent a solar panel
No, I
rocket.
I like
okay,
politics more than science.
that can
doesn't
go
matter.
to the fucking sun.
Okay, wait, hang on. Hey, Troy. How long are we in right now?
Like 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
It's been Carter.
Yeah.
Amazing for you have you on. I think with this episode, I wanna break it into two parts because I don't see any reason why not to. We covered a lot and it was really really fun. And honestly, man, I'd love to have you back.
Yeah, we talked about sucking dicks. I mean,
Oh my god,
went
we covered
from
everything.
We went
guys.
from aliens to space to politics to dick sucking.
we covered all the bases.
Everything we could possibly want to talk about. And yeah, man, it was really great to have you on, and I'm glad that you got to bring some extra limelight and ideas to.
Thank you for being the smart guy on the podcast.
I appreciate it.
Nice.
Yeah, we do need that. Our collective IQ is a little subpar.
I don't like compliments, but thank you. That was very kind.
Carter, you're amazing. You're the best. It's just dude. Here's the free
Carter,
brand right now. Go away. All right. Yeah. Peace, boys. Thanks, guys.
Good night. Thank you so much.
Hey guys, it's Nico. Everybody's gone. They left me. You know, it's fine. It's whatever. But making this final recording because you can now find our podcast on Spotify. Link will be in the description of the video and on the YouTube channel. We made this transition. We're still going to be here on YouTube, but we made the transition because it's a lot easier there for podcasts. You can download the episodes and stuff, and you don't have to keep the app open. You can go on other things and listen to it while you're working, and you can do it for a run while you're at work, whatever it is. So yeah, go check us out there. Link will be in the description and on our Instagram. Thanks a lot. Love you guys. Bye.